Welcome to Eric and Linda Live. It is Tuesday, July 28th, and we are live from Workvine 209. And I'm Eric.
And I'm Linda, and thank you again for joining us on our live show. We've been having phenomenal women on our July lineup, and today we have a great person. I'm going to let Eric introduce her, but come out and visit us at Workvine 209 out here in Tracy in our pivot. We're doing these live shows, like I said, and hopefully they'll be an enrichment and inspiration to you because these women inspire us. And so today we just met this person 2 years ago, and it's a family, long lost family relative of ours. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but I'm gonna let Eric introduce her.
So this woman that's coming up is going to be spectacular. You guys are going to love it, I'm sure. For you women out there, since we're enhancing women in business, minority women in business, this DIY queen can show you how to grow anything, how to change anything in your home. I think you guys will be excited. You'll be reaching out. You'll be watching some of her YouTube channel. She is phenomenal, and we want to welcome Nel Hawkins.
Hi.
What's up, Nel? How you doing?
Hi, Eric. Hi, Linda. How you guys doing?
Good. We're doing good.
Good. So hi, Workvine family.
All you guys out there, she's saying hi. The DIY queen.
Oh, man. You're going to make me blush.
So tell us how you got started with, doing it yourself.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try not to make it too long. So, as a child, I grew up in California, but we moved around quite a bit. I think I probably went to about 11 or 12 schools, before I graduated from high school. Just a lot of instability, due to things out of our control. So as an adult, I really had the desire to have consistency. So like when my kids were born, I wanted to just pretty much try to stay in one place and just have a, comfortable environment for them and my husband also. But lo and behold, I met my husband and he ended up going into the Navy. So we did end up having to move a few times. We didn't move as much as some people, like they moved like every 2 to 3 years. We didn't have to do that, fortunately. But we did. We went to the East Coast. We came back to California. We moved around California a little bit. So each time we would move, I just had the strong desire to just provide like a very nice and comfortable home. Always working on a budget because at times, following a military service member, sometimes I had to quit a job. So we might be in a new location and I wasn't working, or maybe I was going to school. So my income was it fluctuated. So I was always working with a budget in mind. And therefore I would just try to, make anything I could, or, to enhance the home, or buy budget decor, decorations wherever I could. I like to thrift a lot. I like to make over things with paint and sew things. So I just, it all stemmed out of me wanting to provide a comfortable and stable environment, I think, for the family.
I did not know you were into DIY when we first met, because I would have picked your brain. I would have taken up all of your time on our vacation together.
Oh my God.
To get tips. But I watched your video, your YouTube channel, and oh my gosh, I've learned so much. And I was like, and I think you are the perfect person to do these types of videos. You have the perfect voice. You have, the props and everything. The camera lady too, or boy, whoever that is.
My camera girl, my youngest daughter, and my middle daughter, she helps when she's home too. They're great. I couldn't edit and do all this stuff without them.
Yeah, they look so professional and well made, and I even got to see Eric's cousin on there doing some of the work when you made the what is it, the planter box?
Don't bring that up, because when we made so my highest grossing or whatever most viewed video is the planter box, which I'm not even in that video. That's him. So don't blow that up.
Wow. Well, I was looking at that earlier though. I mean, for DIY, 60,000 views on that. That is incredible.
Yes,
it
is.
We're shocked. I'm so thankful. I know the circumstances that we're in right now had a lot to do with it. Because before the shelter at home, I think I had maybe 6,000 or 7,000 views, which was a lot for me. But then I noticed slowly, like week after week, we would check it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 13,000 views, and then it's 30,000 and 50. I just couldn't believe it. But it just goes to show what people are thinking about right now, about their home. Maybe they need a new hobby, or they're concerned about food scarcity. So either way, I'm glad they found the video enjoyable and they could get some value out of it.
Definitely. And they're engaging too. Like I'm at work watching it. Don't tell Eric, but
No.
I'm watching your channel at work, and so he always asks me. He'll turn around and say, "Linda, what are you doing?" Working, but I'm watching you.
Yes. But thank you. I appreciate your support.
So I have a question. So and you mentioned it just a second ago with COVID, and some of the times during this whole shelter in place, there's been food scarcities. So what would you suggest to those individuals who are getting started, who may want to start their own garden or start producing their own foods? What do they need to do to get started?
Well, you can start very simply. I did make a video about starting a container garden without leaving your house, especially in the beginning of this whole lockdown. I work in the healthcare field, so I take this virus really seriously. So I try not to go out if I don't have to. So I wanted to see how possible it'd be to start this whole garden without leaving my house. And so I was able to order 5-gallon buckets online from, I think it was Home Depot, or actually Lowe's. I was able to order potting soil. I can order all my fertilizer. You can pretty much order everything online, and you can literally start your garden at home. You don't ever have to go step foot inside the store. And again, working on a budget, I try to look for budget-friendly ideas. So for instance, the 5-gallon buckets that I use, they're about a little bit less than $5, but they can be used year after year after year. I've had them out in the sun. I haven't noticed any wear and tear on them yet. So I think they're a pretty durable item for just $5. You can grow many, many crops in there. Just, keep reusing the same things over and over again until they give out. It's a great way to save money.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that video too. That was
good. Yeah. I think my dog was featured in that one too, because he wouldn't stay on the camera.
Yeah. So we're starting a garden, and what are some of the good fruits or vegetables to grow during this time? And I know we're in Tracy and you're out in San Diego.
Yeah.
So I think the temperatures are a little different, but similar.
I think so. I'm not sure about your zone, so it's really important to pay attention to your zone. I know I'm in zone 10, but I think that we do have similar climates, but whatever works here probably would work for you guys too. So out here right now in the summer, one of the easiest crops to grow, in fact, my oldest daughter is growing this in her apartment, is squash. Squash is really easy to grow, and it grows. One healthy squash plant can produce a lot of food. So I really think that that's a good one to start with. You might, squash is not my favorite vegetable, but I'm learning that it is so versatile that you can even make flour from it.
Wow.
You can make, if things really get to the point where food scarcity is that bad, you can actually make flour from squashes. Another good one is cucumbers. Those grow pretty easily, and it's the perfect time to grow cucumbers. Cucumber transplants are still available at all the garden centers, so are squash transplants. Peppers is another good one. What I love about peppers is the variety. I mean, until you start gardening, you may not realize the variety of fruits and vegetables that are out there. But we have our normal like green peppers and things like that. But you also have the mini peppers, the hot peppers, the shishito peppers, which are a smaller sweet pepper. Excuse me. It's just such a great variety out there. So it's kind of fun. That's another good thing about gardening, is just learning more and more about the produce that's available to us. Sorry about that noise, guys.
Good. That's all right. You outside. I know you can probably get ready to garden right after we finish, huh?
Actually, yes, ma'am. I have some stuff I can plant.
I do want to say there was one tip on that video when you had the containers that you ordered from, I think it was Lowe's, but you had fillers in there, and you used plastic bottles and cans. And so I actually tried that on one of my pots that's really super heavy. And so
Yeah.
I put empty, I cut them up in half because it's not a big pot, but it's a medium sized pot. So I cut the water bottles in half and I filled the bottom up. And I'm telling you, the pot is so much lighter. And you only need so much dirt, is what I learned in your video. So
Right. Yeah. And I didn't know that previously. I always thought, I have to fill the entire container with soil, and it's not super expensive, but it is expensive, because the soil that I buy is about $7 per 1.5 cubic feet, and that can fill about 6 1-gallon containers. So it can add up if you're constantly buying soil. So I just realized that, after looking at there's a book I reference a lot for gardening. It's called the Square Foot Gardening Method. He said you only need about 6 to 8 inches of soil to grow most crops. So ever since then, I just pretty much fill the bottom with, like Linda said, either crushed water bottles or aluminum cans, even milk jugs, anything that's food safe that can pretty much take up space in the bottom. I just use that. And then I go ahead and put the quality soil on top of that. And Linda, you're right. Whenever you have to move it, like if you have to move it out of the sun or something like that, it's so much lighter and it's so much easier to deal with.
yeah, and who would know that it's filled with all that, because you can't see it anyway, and if the plants are growing healthy, why not?
Yeah, exactly. The plants don't seem to mind, so I just keep doing it.
Yeah. So, with COVID and what's been happening, there seems to be like a shortage of like seeds and supplies for gardening.
That is
So,
true.
what do you do to kind of, I guess, continue to garden without the supplies available?
You know what? You're absolutely right. There is a shortage of seeds. There's a shortage of pots, even potting soil. Usually, I have good luck finding everything online. Online is a lot better stock than actual brick and mortar stores right now. So another tip I have is to look in kind of unusual places. I think I mentioned on one of my videos that I find a lot of gardening supplies at Rite Aid, actually, the drugstore. They have a one aisle that they dedicate to gardening supplies. So, and that aisle is constantly on sale. It's either 50% off or 75% off. But if you check that aisle, you'll find not only like containers that are food safe, you can also find seeds. You can find potting soil. You can find seed starting mix, which I'll be doing a video on that pretty soon. All kinds of stuff. Even whimsical accessories for your garden, you can find those at Rite Aid. Another good place to find seeds that I found anyway are Asian grocery stores. They have a lot of different vegetable seeds that you may enjoy, but you probably will not find at Home Depot or Lowe's, such as like red mustard greens and Malabar spinach and tot soy, just other things. You may have probably had these in a restaurant, but you just never thought about growing them. But they are there. I find mine at 99 Ranch. I don't know if you guys have 99 Ranch where you are.
Yeah, we do.
You do?
Yep,
Yeah.
we do. I love that.
So they
store.
have them. Yeah, right by the lottery machine is where they keep the seeds.
Wow, we're gonna go out there and get some of that Rats 99 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm growing.
I'm sorry.
I'm growing an upo. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's huge, and so I got the seeds. They harvested their own seeds, my sister-in-law, and
Okay.
they cracked open this big, gigantic upo. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but she took all the seeds out, and we planted them like 3 weeks ago. And I wish I had a picture, but it already sprouted and it's growing. It's like this tall, and so it's been therapeutic for Shaylin and I. We go out there and do our little gardening, and it really is rewarding and therapeutic for us, and
I feel the same way. I'm going to have to look into that vegetable. I haven't heard of it. I'll do some research on that later on. But you did touch on something I wanted to make sure that I brought up about the benefits of gardening for people, because you mentioned that it's therapeutic. And I have to say that I completely agree with that. A lot of people are finding a lot of peace in the garden, especially now when everything is just so crazy out in the world, But if you retreat to your garden, it's, a nice quiet space. You hear the birds, You hear the rushing of the leaves. It's just a really nice, enjoyable, peaceful hobby. There's also some other benefits to gardening, such as I don't know if you guys know this, but there's actually a bacteria that lives in the soil that is, it will increase your serotonin. So it's kind of like a natural antidepressant, and it's right there in the soil. So I
Wow.
mean, I just love that. I mean, that's just incredible. So I think maybe that's the draw. Right now people are gardening more, possibly because of that. And let's see, in addition to that, I know that, a lot of us, I know so many women in particular that are low on vitamin D. And it's because,
Mhm.
when you think about our lifestyle, usually we're going from one building to another building to a car to a building. We just don't get outside enough. So gardening is also a good way to get some more vitamin D, boost your stores in your body and just make you a lot healthier in the long run.
Yeah.
And it's free vitamin D.
Exactly. Exactly.
So so what fruits or vegetables that we could just like take the seeds out and grow?
You know,
I mean,
yes, that's a very good question. So what I've learned is that if a fruit or vegetable is a high or yes, if it's a hybrid, you can save the seeds, but you're not guaranteed to grow that same exact fruit or vegetable from your plant. Because the way they make the hybrids is, they take one fruit that has, let's say, the peel color that they want, and they'll take another fruit that has, another quality that they like, and they kind of blend them together. I don't know all the science behind it, but I know that they take different things from different parents and blend them together, and then that's your fruit that you're eating. So the seeds of that fruit, when you plant them, you may get like an ugly fruit that tastes great, or you may get, a terrible tasting fruit that just looks good, and they harvested the DNA just because of the looks. So you never really know what you're going to get by planting hybrid seeds. But if you have an heirloom, such as an heirloom tomato or an heirloom squash, um, I'm trying to think what other, there's heirloom melons. Those will produce the same exact fruit that you enjoyed the season before. So yeah, and that's another great way to get seeds. Of course, as Linda mentioned, is just to harvest from your own crop and dry them out and save them for the next season. And that's a great way to save money on seeds. And those will last a couple of years.
wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. So we just go if there's a seed shortage, we just need to
Hmm.
go buy the fruit, take the
And
seeds
yep,
out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
absolutely.
that's pretty good.
I've,
I'll
I've
send
done
you
that.
some of my upo seeds. I still have some left, so I'll send you some.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'd love it. If you send me some seeds, I would love that. I will definitely grow it. Thank you.
Yeah. So what's like your most funnest or
Goodness.
exciting project that you've done? Like, is it something outside, indoors? Share that.
Well, as far as my channel is related, I would definitely say gardening.
Okay.
I cover, home decor, DIYs, and gardening, all on a budget. My motto is make your home your sanctuary on a budget. So I do really enjoy sewing. In fact, soon I'm going to be setting up an Etsy store to showcase some of the kitchen items that I like to sew. I'm still thinking on a name for that one, but it's mostly like handmade goods, and they're all with a global influence. So look out for that soon. But yeah, I think the gardening is definitely my favorite. I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I enjoy teaching my kids how to garden. As I said, my oldest child is growing squash, and my two younger ones are growing flowers. My son took a hand at growing radishes, so they're getting
Wow.
involved. I really like that.
So is she growing squash indoors?
Outdoors. She's
Outdoors.
growing,
Okay.
yeah, out in her backyard in a couple of containers that she bought. I think she got them on Amazon.
Are there any fruits or vegetables that you can grow indoors?
Yes, you can grow, I would say, in my experience, leafy greens, because leafy greens don't require quite as much sunlight. So I would say lettuces, herbs, possibly spinach. Things that require or that need enough sunlight to produce fruit, like orange trees and peppers. It's more difficult to grow them inside unless you have a room with a very intense light in there. But you can always give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, just go ahead and put it outside.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do you have to share with us today? Anything?
I just want to tell people, it's
Like your
easy to get
props.
started.
You have some
Yeah,
props.
I have it's easy to get started. I want to show you. Thank you. Show you a couple of things that I've done. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this without turning around. Okay, can you guys see this right here?
Yes.
Okay, so you can start this simply. If you have a grocery bag, because we know that's food safe, and you can fill it with about 6 inches of soil, you can actually grow in that. And especially nowadays, I have a whole stack of grocery bags because I can't reuse them. We're not allowed to, so they're just piling up in my cabinet. So you can use them to plant. You can also use something like this. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah. There we
Okay,
go.
so yeah, a milk jug. Cut the top off, and you can use this to plant. Of course, you can't plant, a watermelon in here or anything, but you could definitely plant herbs, lettuce. Any of the smaller plants would be great in here.
Nice.
Yep. And then here's the 5-gallon buckets that I mentioned that you can start. You can order online. You don't have to leave your house. As long as you put drainage holes in the bottom. Just as with everything, we need drainage holes. Otherwise, the plants will get root rot. But yeah, so this is another option for you. And then these pots are some of the ones that I get from Rite Aid. I just wait till they're half off, and I end up paying, I think it's about $9 per pot. And they're really nice size. I think they're 14-gallon. They are food safe. I called the company and asked them because I just wanted to be sure. So yeah, you have a lot of options to starting. You can start with, see, I have some seeds. Now, the easiest way to start is literally to go to, Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a transplant, the little 4-inch tall, plants. They're about $3 to $4. That's the easiest way for a new gardener to start, is just get a pot, get a transplant, get your soil, and get started. But if you would like to save even more money, buy yourself a pack of seeds. These seeds cost me, I think, 99 cents. I've even found seeds for 25 cents at Dollar Tree, and they're perfectly fine. They germinate just fine. And a lot of people ask me on my channel, hold on 1 second. 1 second, guys.
Wow, that's really some really cool stuff. If you are out there looking to grow some plants, check out Nel's YouTube channel. She has at least 50 videos out there that really can help and enhance your ability to grow and start your own garden at home and have your own fruit and vegetables. And I think they're organic, right? Are they organic?
Yes, I do. I enjoy using organic methods in my garden, trying to cut back on the pesticides. And, when I was in college, at the beginning of college, I was a nutrition major. And so we learned a lot about pesticides and things that are added to the foods that we eat. And even though there's a term called generally recognized as safe, it's called GRAS. So the pesticides are on the GRAS list, but a lot of them have long-term health effects, I'll be honest with you. So I try not to use anything like that. For instance, if I have a pest in my garden, I'll use this. This is how I get rid of, the chewing insects and things like that. Just mix this with water to a certain ratio, spray it on your plants after the pollinators have done their job for the day. And this is pretty good to take care of that rather than spraying a pesticide on them.
Yeah.
There's another one. This is a good one for caterpillars. It looks dangerous, but it's actually just a bacteria that you spray on the leaves, and unfortunately, it makes the caterpillars lose their appetite, so they don't attack your plants anymore. It's the kindest thing I could think of. But yeah, I try to do everything organically. One of my favorite fertilizers. Oh, let's talk about fertilizers really quickly. So after you plant your plants, or when you're planting your plants, I think it's a good idea to add some organic granules, which are a slow release type of fertilizer. Those are going to be broken down by the bacteria in the soil, so they're not immediately available. So you put those in when you first plant, and then over time, those will feed your plant. And usually, the one I'm using right now is this brand, Dr. Earth.
Nice.
It's an organic, and it's just like little pellets of fertilizer that we use. But in the meantime, while you're waiting for that to activate in the soil, you want to use a liquid fertilizer that the plants can feed from immediately. So what I usually use for that's a good organic option, is the fish fertilizer. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's basically, it smells terrible. I'm gonna tell you, it smells terrible, and it takes about at least 12 hours for that smell to dissipate. Clouding or anything when I use that, and it's basically fish. It's like fermented fish. It gives the plants a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of phosphorus and potassium that they need to keep growing. So yeah, those are my two favorites right now. For most crops, if you're going to plant a root crop such as potato or beets, carrots, they need a little bit more of the P and the K, the phosphorus and the potassium. So you just do a little research and find out what you feel like using to feed those type of plants. But for most of the leafy green types of plants, the fish fertilizer and the organic granules in the soil is all you need.
I saw you use Epsom salt too in mixing it into the dirt.
Yes, that was something I didn't use before, but a friend of mine suggested it. So once I started adding that to my tomato pots, I noticed a huge difference in the taste. Like I feel like it really enhances the taste a lot, and it makes the fruit a deeper color, I would say. So now I always add that to my tomatoes, and as well as in my garden bed, because it's good for all vegetables. But I really noticed a difference with the tomatoes. Yeah.
Nice. So, growing up, right, I tried to grow a garden before. And, as a kid, they always had us take the seeds and put them on a sponge, right? So that they can sprout. Is that something that you do, or you just go straight to the dirt?
I've never done that. I have started seeds indoor in little pots.
Okay.
And I've started seeds on a paper towel before. Maybe it's similar to on this. Yeah. So I was with the paper towel. I was only just doing an experiment where I wanted to see if I could grow black-eyed peas from the black-eyed peas that were in my cabinet. So I just took some and I put them in between damp paper towels. And after a few days, they sprouted. So there's another option. Go buy a pack of beans at the store and plant them.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're experimenting.
Yeah, I love to experiment. It's fun.
Yeah.
I've been experimenting a lot too with DIY projects. It's hilarious because I'll be like, "Oh, Shaylin, I made you this," and I'll bring it to her, and she's like, "That's nice, Mom. I think you're really enjoying your therapeutic DIY projects, but I think maybe you should give that to Chanel." And she laughs at my DIY projects, but I think they're fun. I made stuff out of toilet paper rolls. It's like this COVID thing. It gets you like being creative with the stuff that you have around the house. So I made some other things. What else did I make? Oh, I made little succulent. Like I took the caps off of the liquid detergent where you pour to do your laundry, and I put dirt in it, and I put my succulents in there. So I'm like, but I think I need to watch more of your videos though, because
that sounds like you're having a good time. I'm glad. I like to hear that. I just love to do stuff like that. Repurpose things and find a new use. Yeah, that's the best. And I like succulents. When I was younger, in my 30s, I did not like succulents. I don't know why, but for some reason now they're growing on me. So yeah, I'm kind of in a succulent mood right now too.
Nice.
They're easy to take care of.
Hard.
They're hard, or they're easy for you?
No, they're easy as long as you don't overwater them. Yeah, they're good. Just don't overwater them.
So do you ever get like an abundance of a certain type of fruit or vegetable? And then if you do, like, what do you do with it? Do you just share it or just eat more of it?
No, okay, so that's a good question. So this year I grew a new plant called the cucamelon. I don't know if you guys saw that video.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, okay. So I had never had it before. I just wanted to try it because I saw a picture. I said, that looks really cute. And then I saw it at the store. So I picked up, one transplant. And that thing it's pretty prolific. Like it produces a lot of fruit. So I've taken fruit to work a couple of times. And some people like it, some people don't. But I said, if you don't like cucumbers, you won't like it, because it tastes just like a lemony cucumber. But yeah, I love to share things. I love to cook what I harvest. We recently did a video on zucchini bread that we made with a couple of our Black Beauty zucchinis. I'm going to get into freezing tomatoes because I would ultimately like to learn how to can things, but right now I just don't know how to do it. So what I'm planning to do is to blanch and freeze everything that I have that I can't consume right away. And then, I'm assuming it won't affect the flavor too much, so we'll be able to use it later on in the months.
That's a good idea, actually. Blanching and freezing. your vegetables because they go bad really quickly. I mean, you can't keep them in the fridge for, is it like a week?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. And then the flavor changes.
It does.
Yeah. There's no preservatives or anything. There's no wax on it to keep it hydrated. So, it kind of forces you to enjoy your harvest while it's fresh, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true.
What would you like to leave with our listeners who want to get started? I mean, there's so much valuable information on gardening and producing your own food and sustaining. What do you want to leave them on, maybe how to get started or what they can do to make a difference?
I want to let them know that gardening doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. As I said, you can even garden in a grocery bag, a milk jug, a yogurt container, anything that's food safe is fine for gardening as long as you put the drainage holes in there. And, especially in these times where, a month ago or 2 months ago, I went to the store and there's no potatoes, there's no tomatoes, there's no turkey. It's kind of scary to think that that could actually be a reality, as this pandemic, stretches on. So I just think, get out there, start somewhere. Doesn't have to be hard, and just concentrate on the benefits of gardening. And I think that you'll get hooked like a lot of us are.
Yeah. What about that? Donna Letzinger, she said zucchini jam. Have you tried that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Really good.
No, that sounds pretty good. We make zucchini noodles. Those are excellent. Have you guys tried those?
Yes.
When?
Yes, I have.
When have you tried that?
Okay.
Those are
I've tried it. It's really good.
Try that, guys. My daughter liked it so much she ate it for dinner and lunch.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a good alternative to starch to that spaghetti.
There you go, Eric. You could make that for dinner.
Yes.
How about that?
All right. I'll make zucchini.
Come on, Eric.
I can do it.
You can do it.
Hey, Nel, well, thank you. Some valuable information, really good. And thank you for being a part of our show and sharing and even helping us to really rethink what you can do during COVID with gardening. You don't have to always go out and buy the seeds, but you can use some of the fruit or vegetables that you already have to restart. And this is really great. I think I'm going to go home and start growing something else.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. And I just want to let the viewers know, if you are interested, just come visit my YouTube channel. It's called Home Sense with Nel. And I'm also on Facebook at Home Sense with Nel. I'd love to have you there.
Yeah. And we put it in the chat. So if you guys are watching and trying to figure out where to go, it's in the chat. You can click on the link and you can connect.
Definitely. And congratulations on passing your 1,000 viewer mark. That's a big milestone. So
yeah, now exactly. They'll let me do a couple more things on my channel now since I met that milestone. So thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a part of our show. We will be back on Thursday. This month is Minority Women and Entrepreneurs in Business Enrichment, sharing with the world what they're doing to make a difference in the community.
And this Thursday, it's Rhodesia Ransom, City Councilwoman Rhodesia Ransom on Thursday. So can't wait to have her as well.
Thank you. And you guys have a great day. Thank you.
All right, now.